Hello and welcome along to Mondo Chalavec Movies. My name is John and this video is going to be about what movies I have bought in the month of February 2021. Speaking of movies, I'm going to start off with a CD. This is the latest album that I bought by the band Mogwai, the Scottish band Mogwai. And this album is now #1 in the charts, believe it or not. This is the first time that Mogwai have got a #1 and it is absolutely brilliant. So this CD is now a close second to my favourite Mogwai album, which is 2011's Hardcore Will Never Die, But You Will. If you ever want to get this album, I've got to admit this is a great, stunning set, and if you can get it, try and get the one with the extra disc in, which is obviously two CDs. You get the album. On the second disc you get a thing called Music for a Forgotten Future, in brackets, The Singing Mountain, which is 23 minutes long. Wow. So yes, Hardcore Will Never Die But You Will, minimalistic, brilliant album. And this album here is #1. I was so pleased to pick this up. I buy Mogwai's albums all the time, and I'll show you the track listing on here, which is great, excuse the language. And yeah, I've got to say, even though I'm still finding my way through this album, it's absolutely brilliant. And if you ever want to know, start off Mogwai, start them off with these two albums. Brilliant. Okay, so the first film I got was a DVD by Carl Theodor Dreyer. It is the 1932 film Vampire, also The Strange Adventures of Alan Gray. That's what its full title is. This is a DVD from Eureka. There is, I believe there's a Vampire Eureka Blu Ray, which is hard to track down, and also there is a Criterion version on Blu Ray, which is quite expensive at the moment. It's got a humongous booklet in there. It's an absolutely amazing booklet. It's more like a book actually. So Vampire, you could say, is basically a masterpiece of it's not a silent film, but it's nearly a silent film. There's hardly any talking in it. It does remind me of a sort of David Lynch film. If you can imagine a Razorhead transported back to 1932, you're halfway there. It's so great but odd and very well put together. The DVD itself, it isn't the best of quality. I thought it would be a little bit more less. It's got a lot of dirt in it, but it's good enough to have till I get myself the Blu-ray. So if you ever want to know what a good early horror film is, which is not your normal horror film, try Vampire. Highly recommended. So the next title I got was the first thing that I've bought physically in a shop in the month, well, in 2021, and it was from Poundland, and it is Big Hero 6. I did want to get this film anyway. It was on my list of to get. I do like these sort of computer cartoon things. I saw it there and I thought, right, I'm going to get it. And it's funny that you think, you know, you always get the chance to go and buy things from a shop. And these days, it's few and far between that you're in a shop that actually sells physical media, especially until we get the lockdown finished. And so I've checked a little bit of it out. It looks really good. I'm dying to watch it. Me and my wife watch films like this all the time. And yes, the first ever bit of physical media in 2021 was Big Hero 6 from Poundland. Wow. Who'd have thought that? So the rest of these are all online. Now this one here was a thing I saw on Leon Talks Films channel, and he was going on about this release, and I thought, I've got to have me a slice of that. And it is Tammy and the T-Rex. This was released by 101 Films, and it's a lovely presentation. I have watched the film. I did enjoy it immensely. This packaging, the limited edition, is just absolutely brilliant. The quality on here is stunning. So I'm going to leave a link down below to Leon's video that he made of this film, unboxing, and also a review of it. He does a brilliant job in it, and I'd rather have him tell you about it than me stumble through it. So, but it is highly recommended. What a film. But this packaging itself is really good. So 101, could they be a boutique label to watch out for in 2021? Possibly. The next one was from Amazon. It was on my wish list, and I decided to pull the trigger on it. And it is the La Belle et la Bête, Beauty and the Beast. Now this film isn't a silent film. It's from 1946. I did think it was a silent film initially, and it's from BFI label, which are just putting out some brilliant stuff. Booklet, of course, standard, and it's got a very good reputation of being really stunning visual film. It's meant to be a great film as well. I keep thinking that this is Glenn Danzig from the Misfits' favourite film. I could be wrong on that. I don't know why I keep thinking that, but I do. It might be. So that's La Belle et la Bête. So my French has come along quite a bit there, isn't it? So the next title was another Amazon wish list title. It was further down the line, so I thought I'm going to nip a few of these out of the way and then get them instead of them just sitting there forever. And it was I Saw the Devil. Now, I'll have a review of this on what I've watched over the month of February. That video will be dropping soon, so I'm going to leave that for there. But one word, wow. I'm so glad I got it. And it's just a bare bones release. I would love them to do some kind of, I would love Arrow to do a special edition of this because I think it warrants it. But wow. So the next thing I got was actually from my good friend Leon, from Leon Talks Film. And he sent me his favourite film of all time with a lovely slipcover. And it is Buffalo 66. So I'm going to put this on what I've watched on the month of February video. But briefly, another one where it's just one word, wow. So glad to get this slipcover. And I was just so glad that Leon has sent me this film. I did think I would like it, but I want to talk more about it on my what I've watched on the month of February 2021. But once again, thanks very much, Leon. I do really appreciate that. And only available in the States. It says region A on the back, but it is actually region free, which is brilliant. So I can put on my 4K player. It's not black and white. It's not a black and white film. It's a colour film. But anyway, more about that on what I've watched on the month of February 2021. The next one was another one that I went to the shop to buy. Can you believe it? And it is a thing that I've been looking at for quite a while. I'd seen these in Poundland for a long time, but it's something that I did really want to watch. And when I went looking through the shelves in Poundland, which is in Newcastle, they can be quite poor. I can see a lot of people getting stuff from Poundland across the channels, and they get some great stuff. Especially it seems to be more down the south of England, but up the north of England you don't seem to get any of these sort of titles that you want. So anyway, this is one that I did really want to see. Senna. It's about Ayrton Senna, a race car driver. I remember him from my youth, and he unfortunately had a car crash and died. And I've always wanted to see this, never got around to it, so I saw it there, £2. I thought, why not? And I'll get that documentary watched. The next one was one of my most anticipated releases of this year so far. I've done a video of it, which has got a great reception actually, so thanks for everybody who's left a good comment and watched that video. It's really taken off quite a lot. And it is the 4K of Demons 1 and 2. I'll put my videos down to my unboxing of it and my views on this. I've watched this set and reviewed it on some other videos. I'll put them down below so you can see them if you want to. But another one word wow about this release. It's absolutely amazing. Anybody who's been lucky enough to get it before it fell into the hands of the unscrupulous scalpers who are charging crazy money, but I'm hearing things from people who are getting it for a sensible price, which is brilliant. I would love to think that if you're a collector, you have a fair crack at the whip before it goes to like the second-hand market, which is fair enough if it goes there and you know what you're getting into. But when it's just been released and you're paying 2-3 times what it's worth, it's a little bit of a kick in the teeth, mine. But brilliant release. It's one of the best 4Ks I've seen, especially of an older horror film. So the next one was from a shop called One Below. Now One Below is a funny shop because it's kind of Poundland or thereabouts, or Pound Stretcher. It's been rebranded, and when it first came about in Newcastle, they did have a large Blu-ray and DVD section. There wasn't much in it, but it was huge. Then it changed to, it's just a kind of little one of them, you know, it's like stands, you put it in, there's hardly any of them in there. And so they do have some alright films from time to time. So I do have a mooch in there when I go in there, because basically that's the only time I can actually physically pick anything up. I don't bother about things like Asda or Morrison's or anything like that, because I do find that their stuff is usually quite poor. You're lucky to get a 4K in there, and if it is, it's always full price. If you get a Blu-ray, it's usually a Blu-ray that's not of any, you know, you get no boutique stuff in there in my shops anyway. I know that a few Asda supermarkets do stock Arrow titles, but I've got a few over the years, but not anything to speak of. So I got this from One Stop, and it is a film called Henry's Game. Now, I have seen this talked about, and I believe Big Paulie picked this up a long time ago in Poundland. This is obviously only £1 from, so even if you don't like it, at least you've got yourself a box you can flip out with another thing. It's got some good people in here. It's got Keanu Reeves, Vera Farmiga, and James Caan. So that's a great cast. I'm not saying it's going to be any good, but I did like the look of it when Big Paulie picked it up. I think it was Big Paulie. And well, £1. If it's rubbish, it's rubbish. It doesn't matter really. So the next things I got was, you would have seen a recent video of mine that I got some subscriber mail. I wasn't too sure who it was off, and done a little bit of detective work, and I found out it was from my good friend Korishira Ishii, who's been a subscriber of mine from day one actually. And so he's also known as the Movie Hater on YouTube, changed his channel name, and he sent me these 4 films. Now I'll put them in, these are in the order of what I'm going to watch them. Actually, I'm going to start watching them today. So these are all from the same director, and they're from Yasujiro Ozu, pardon me on my pronunciation there. And they have 2 films on the set. They have sort of like a newer film and an older film, although these films are from around about the 50s, the 60s and the 30s. So they're quite old, but they all come with as they all do, lovely booklet. You get a DVD, you get a Blu-ray with that. DVD, like a dual format edition. I always forget what they're called when I do that. So that was Late Spring. The next one was Good Morning. And like you get your booklet in there, and you get your 2 discs. Like I keep saying that BFI are just doing some really great stuff. They're sort of a bit like a sort of Criterion label. They do things that aren't your sort of ones that you find in many places, but I love the font on here as well. I'm a big fan of fonts. I don't think I've mentioned that ever before. But a font, as well as a slip cover or a good cover, can get my attention. And this font, and I know what the font's called, but I can't remember what it's called, but I am a fan of fonts, and that's a nice font. Fonts. The next one is Late Autumn, by the same director obviously, and same again, you get your 2 discs and you get a nice booklet. And I do know that one disc will have a film on, and it'll have an older one of his films. I don't think I've watched any of his films actually, but I know I'm a fan of this type of a period in Japanese films. I have watched quite a few of them, and I do enjoy them all, I've got to admit. And the last one here is An Autumn Afternoon, and it says on here, includes Ozu's rare 1948 film A Hen in the Wind as well. Booklet, 2 discs and 2 films. So absolutely brilliant. Like I say, to Korishira, Movie Hater, thanks very much for that. Really appreciate that. And they do match. They've all got that lovely font in it. So yeah, so that's what I got for the month of February. It's a little bit shorter than normal because really there hasn't been that much stuff out there. I did get some other stuff today which I thought was going to come in the end of February, but it just missed, and it's going to be in my movies that I've got for March. And also I've unboxed it, and the unboxing will be put into another video somewhere in the next 1 or 2 videos. So thanks for watching, appreciate that. And I just want to say a quick sort of word on the fact that my subscriber count has just went through the roof recently, especially in the month of February. I'm going to do a dedicated video to that, which I'm going to explain about. It's going to be like kind of like a channel update. It's also going to talk about the thing I mentioned in a couple of videos ago about competition that's coming together. That'll be very soon. So you're going to get in the forthcoming couple of videos, you will get my views on sort of like a channel update, and it's going to tell you about getting the 500 subscribers. Wow, that's just I'm going to air my thoughts on that. And also a competition's coming, and also it's going to be talking about a few things that are going to plan for my channel. I've got a really exciting thing coming up, which will have to be for after lockdown, because it involves somebody else. But I'm keeping that under wraps at the moment. But it's I'm very excited to bring it to you, and I think you'll really, really like it. But I'm not going to say any more than that. Okay, so thanks once again for watching. I appreciate everybody who's taken the time out to do that. And I will see you in the next video. So you take care. Cheers.